Let's look at how to use the circular slide rule. You'll see a ring of numbers on the static outer scale, along with a separate set of numbers on the movable inner scale. There are also two important pointers to take note of: the black 10 on the outer scale and the black 60 rate pointer on the inner scale, which we'll be referring to frequently when working through sample calculations. As a general rule of thumb, the 10 pointer will be referenced when performing basic math problems, and the 60 rate pointer will be used when computing problems related to time, like miles per hour or gallons per hour. One thing to remember is that most slide rules, including the E6B, do not account for orders of magnitude. This means the numbers on any of the scales could represent any variation of that number. The number 30, for example, could represent 0.3, 3, 30, 300, or 3,000, depending on the context of the problem and inputs you're using. It might sound confusing now, but it'll make sense once we start looking at specific examples. To get a feel for the operation of the slide rule, let's show how to do a basic multiplication problem. Let's say you wanted to multiply 5 by 7. Find the number 50 on the inner scale, which represents 5 for this example, and line it up with the black 10 pointer at the top. Now, find the second number, 70, on the outer scale, which represents 7, and read the number across from it on the inner scale, 35. To help illustrate the order of magnitude concept, you can also use this same configuration to solve for 50 times 70. The answer displayed on the inner scale is still 35, but you would have to interpret this as 3,500, based on the input values you have in mind. Let's do one more example. This time, we'll multiply 17 by 53. Line up the number 17 on the inner scale with the black 10 pointer on the outer scale. Next, find 53 on the outer scale and read the number across from it on the inner scale as 90. Based on the input values, 90 in this case represents 900. Next, we'll look at how to do a series of conversions using the slide rule. To convert nautical miles to statute miles, first find the markings labeled naut and stat near the number 70 on the outer scale. For this example, we'll start with a distance of 100 nautical miles, and we need to determine the equivalent in statute miles. Find the number 10 on the inner scale, which represents 100, and align it with the naut arrow. Then follow the line over to the right and read the answer under the stat arrow. The number shown is 11.5, which should be interpreted as 115 statute miles. This also works in reverse, allowing you to position a known statute mile distance under the stat arrow and read the nautical mile equivalent under its arrow. The E6B can convert avgas gallons to pounds using a similar technique, using the fuel US gal and fuel pounds markings on the outer ring. To convert 53 gallons of avgas to pounds, line up the number 53 on the inner scale with the US gallons marking on the outer scale. Find the fuel pounds arrow on the outer scale and read the result of 32 across from it on the inner scale, which equates to approximately 320 pounds of avgas. For the next set of calculations, we will use the altitude correction windows located in the center of the slide rule. One of the most common uses for this feature is determining density altitude. For this scenario, we'll use a temperature of 30 degrees C and 1,000 feet for pressure altitude at the airport. To determine the density altitude, first find 30 degrees on the top of the pressure altitude window. Positive numbers are to the left of the zero. Then find 1,000 feet in the window, which is the first tick mark next to zero. Spin the ruler so that 30 degrees lines up with the first tick mark in the lower window and read the density altitude in the upper window. The arrow points to the third tick mark, representing 3,000 feet. You'll also use these two correction windows to determine true airspeed. Let's say you want to determine what your true airspeed is during cruise at 10,000 feet based on a calibrated airspeed of 160 knots and an outside air temperature of 0 degrees Celsius. You'll start this calculation the same way as when determining density altitude, by lining up the pressure altitude of 10,000 feet in the window with the 0 degree temperature tick marks just above. Next, locate the number representing the 160 knot calibrated airspeed on the inner scale, which is 16. Read the true airspeed directly across from this on the outer scale, which is 18.8 or 188 knots.